Oh, why is it that VTuber companies are probably some of the worst ran companies that I have ever heard about? Like, how do you run a company and do some of the most controversial things that any company could ever do? Like, I don't understand. Like there are so many VTuber companies that have come out with some sort of controversy that just makes you just scratch your head, pull your hair. It's just like, what are we doing? You know? Like, I don't understand. For those who are unaware of what I'm exactly referring to, Ironmouse, one of the biggest VTubers on the planet. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she is the most subscribed and followed VTuber on Twitch, released a video talking about how she is leaving a VTuber company called VShojo. And the reason why she's leaving VShojo is because, according to her, stated that not only has VShojo, withheld some earnings from her, but they apparently also stole almost $500,000 to a immunodeficiency charity, the Immunodeficiency Foundation, which is a foundation that helps put money into research and trying to help find some sort of cure for people who experience immunodeficiency diseases. What those are essentially is where your antibodies or your body cannot fight certain diseases, some certain infections properly because your defense system in your body is weakened. So a lot of times you are forced to be isolated or cannot go out because of the threat of getting infected or getting some sort of like a common cold could legit harm you or even kill you. Hundreds, millions of dollars have been donated to this charity thanks to Ironmouse. And she has been one of the individuals who have been at the forefront of trying to find a cure for people with immunodeficiency diseases. So what does VShojo do? A company that not only employed her, but also, promoted her, who had her back, for a lot of the things that she has done over the years as a content creator and as a streamer, as a VTuber. Well, they just basically fucked her over, like I said, Now, due to legal reasons, I have to say what Ironmouse is saying is accusations. And this is only because it's for legal purposes. I have to say that, it's only accusations. The allegations, we don't know much about exactly what is happening, right? Even Ironmouse has stated in her video that, due to legal reasons and advice from her lawyer, she cannot say much more until everything is settled with, like, the legal issues and stuff like that. So, for those who are wondering, I'm only saying these are accusations and allegations because of legal reasons. But if the what Ironmouse is saying is true, if the allegations is true, this is by far one of the most and biggest fuck-ups a VTuber company has ever done, right? It's like a lot of these VTuber companies are like in some sort of like competition to be the worst run VTuber company. They're like attending or like trying to get the gold medal at the how to be the worst VTuber company Olympics. Like, how do you do something like steal money from a charity, right? A charity that is trying to help people fight this really tough like condition where like getting a common cold could be a life and death situation for them, right? One of the things that people will despise anyone for, no matter who it is someone who tries to steal money from a charity. Because that money goes to helping people. It goes to saving lives. And if you do any of that, you are seen as one of the scummiest people in the world. Because, there's no reason for you to do that. The only reason you would ever even do that is one of greed. You want money. You saw money. You saw those dollar bills. You saw all those zeros and decide, I want that. I'm going to pocket that. Right? Like, greed is such a goddamn piece of shit sin that really fucks up so many lives. It honestly does. You can tell a lot about a person with how much money changes them. Right? And you see that a lot in a lot of businesses. Where people start to get a lot of money, they start to change a little bit. They start to gather an ego, right? And it changes them to the point where, like, they want more money. One other thing that Ironmouse mentions in the video is talking about how like she felt the pressure of being like the face of VShojo, and how much it affected her both physically and mentally. And it's essentially, you know, if she believed that if she failed, if she was not bringing in the money, if she was not bringing in, you know, the word of mouth, the consumers, you know, to VShojo, she felt like not only that she failed, but that she was letting everyone down. Her friends, her talent that, you know, alongside her on in VShojo, you know, she was letting them down. And that's a lot of pressure on her. That really is. That kind of pressure sucks. It really does. I can't even imagine what that pressure is like. And, you know, it's hard, right? And when the company that you are essentially the face of decides to also do this and backstab you, and apparently also be in control of the funds that you bring into, you know, the company, the funds that, you know, are owed to her. Like, even if like not all the funds that she ever brought in, right, goes to her, like, you know, some contracts work percentage wise where like the company gets like a certain percentage and the talent gets another percentage. That's usually how like talent contracts usually work. Even if like like she gets more of the money, you know, based off the contract and percentage, it's still not right to hold back. It's still not right for the company themselves to hold those funds, especially the funds that she is required to get. It's a messed up situation. It sucks that this has happened to Ironmouse. It really does. I can't even imagine what it's like to feel that pressure of like being the face of a company and trying to do everything in your power to make sure that everyone else succeeds, because you don't want to fail, because that would mean that everyone else fails. And then having the company that you essentially helped start and helped build backstab you, it's such a shitty feeling that like this was wrong on a whole lot of different situations. It's just a shitty situation. And Ironmouse deserves a lot better than what VShojo did. And it legit apparently all started based on the fact that she wanted to start taking control of the funds. You know, start control of like the amount of money that she rightfully deserves, and handle like, you know, the percentage thing and stuff like that. And VShojo didn't want that, and that's what led to them essentially probably leading to the backstabbing that they just did. So it's a shitty situation, and I feel bad for Ironmouse. I really do. Withholding money from an employee is bad. It's really bad. Pocketing money from, you know, money that was supposed to go to a charity, that's even worse, right? Because there are people who want the money to go to the charity to help people with these diseases, to help Ironmouse. Fans knew Ironmouse before she ever even went into VShojo. VShojo didn't make Ironmouse. Ironmouse made herself. Her story is one of an underdog story. An individual who was not able to go out and make friends because she had to isolate herself so much at the threat of contracting some sort of infection, some sort of disease, right? And she explains more about her story in the video, so I definitely recommend watching her video. It will be posted down in a link down below. But she has done so much for this charity, right? And she just wanted to simply just make friends. She was not expecting to get as big as she has, right? But this was her way of making friends, building friendships, because she was not able to do that like anyone else. Like, it's just baffling to me. And Ironmouse has done so much for VShojo. To just get stabbed in the back by a company that she trusted is such vile behavior, you know? It's so bad. And I'm just here thinking, like, how, like, I don't understand how to run a business. I don't pretend to know, but just logically, like, one of the things that you as a business should be is not to fuck over your employees, and not to mess with the consumers who bring money, who make your company thrive, right? a lot of people, CEOs or people who run companies, think that they know best when it comes to running a company. Sometimes they do. But ideally, if you treat your employees well, right, they will be happy. If they are happy, guess what happens? People will come and enjoy their content, consume, buy their merch, give them super chats, subscribe to their Twitch channel, donate money to the content creator. And then as a business, you make profit off a certain percentage depending on what the contract is all about. That's all you have to do as a talent agency, as a VTuber company. That's all you have to do. And then in your end, you just have to promote, your talent. Get them out there. Make collabs, sponsorships, all this stuff. Not try very hard to withhold money from them, but also steal money from not only them, but from charities. Like, morally, that's not what you should be doing. And it's just baffling to me that a lot of these VTuber companies just don't know how to be run properly. I don't understand. Right? I'm sure it's difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult to run a business. Like I said, I don't know what it's like to run a business. But in my mind, logically, you shouldn't fuck over your talent, especially the biggest talent you have at your company. Ironmouse was betrayed by VShojo. If the allegations are true, again, I have to say for legal reasons, then this is one of the biggest fuck-ups a VTuber agency has done. Right? I don't want to compare because I know there's another VTuber company that has done pretty much a lot of shitty things. But it really is a big fuck-up by VShojo. And Ironmouse, I know she's going to have to fight through a lot of legal things now. Because more than likely, not only is she going to sue, but the charity themselves is probably also going to sue VShojo. Assuming the allegations are true. And this is going to be a long legal fight. And then one day we'll know the full extent, the full story about exactly what has occurred here. Because like Ironmouse has said, she's not able to, say anything aside from this small tidbit. But this is legit one of the biggest fuck-ups a VTuber agency has done. And as someone who has followed VTubers for a long time, I'm not going to rank what is the biggest fuck-up a VTuber company has ever done, because let's face it, all of them are really bad. Anytime a VTuber fucks up or has some sort of controversy, they're bad. Sure, there's different levels of bad, but just don't fuck up. Just don't create controversies and try to fuck over your employees. It should be that simple. You would think, right? But yeah, if the allegations are true, VShojo lost a lot of faith, a lot of people. And at the end of the day, hopefully Ironmouse not only finds some sort of relief from the situation, is able to fight through the legal things that she's not going to have to be a part of, but hopefully she thrives. Now that she is officially leaving VShojo, hopefully she thrives as an indie VTuber, and I guarantee you she will, because at the end of the day, people do not come for the VTuber company. They go for the talent. And wherever the talent goes, that's where the viewers and the consumers will go to. And I think a lot of VTuber agencies forgot that. They really did. It's not about the company. It's not about, you're a big corporate brand. No, it's about the talent. It's the talents themselves. And yet, especially for a company like VShojo or like Nijisanji or Hololive, they need to that is important. Hololive at least in some sort of understanding understands that concept, because they at least try very hard to just somewhat try to communicate with their talent more frequently. And there hasn't been any big controversy where they were holding funds or doing any sort of this thing or bullying within the company. They had their own share of controversy, but nothing compared to what the other two have done. But it's really not hard. Just do not fuck over your employees. Do not steal money. Do not pocket money. It's that simple. Eventually things will come to light. If the allegations by Ironmouse are true, and most people will likely believe Ironmouse more than VShojo as a company, which I can understand why, and I would also agree with that. VShojo lost a lot of faith, and it's going to be very hard for them to get that faith back, assuming they ever do get it back, because there's a chance VShojo might lose a lot from this if the allegations are true. Again, I have to say it legally. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, you get a little bit of understanding of what is occurring with the whole Ironmouse situation. And yeah, definitely go check out a video, link down below. And yeah, I really, really hope this is the last big controversy a VTuber organization is going to have. But that's just believing in fairy tales at this point, because there's definitely going to be more, and it's just frustrating to hear, you know, or a VTuber controversy as well. But we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, go support Ironmouse. She deserves it.